Lil Durk's alleged prison escape attempt has been making headlines, and the footage has left fans and critics questioning what went wrong. The Chicago rapper, known for his OTF ties and hard-hitting lyrics, reportedly tried a bold, calculated move to evade federal charges tied to a murder-for-hire plot. Was it an act of desperation or a clever strategy? Whatever the motive, the attempt has quickly become one of the most discussed moments in recent hip-hop history. According to reports, Durk booked not one, but three international flights in an attempt to dodge federal authorities. After several of his OTF associates were arrested, Durk allegedly orchestrated a plan to confuse investigators by booking multiple flights, two commercial ones to Dubai and Switzerland, followed by a private jet to Italy. However, the feds were one step ahead, and just an hour before his flight was scheduled to depart, agents closed in and arrested him. The escape attempt wasn't a last-minute decision. It was reportedly a meticulously planned strategy designed to throw the feds off his trail. Durk's team booked decoy flights to different countries, hoping to confuse federal agents and make it harder to track his movements. But the FBI wasn't fooled. With advanced tracking methods and interagency coordination, they were able to shut down Durk's escape plan before it could even get off the ground. This bold move has raised questions among fans and critics alike. For some, it highlights the pressure Durk must have felt, knowing the serious charges hanging over him. For others, it looks like a desperate attempt to avoid facing the consequences of his actions, one that could end up making his case even worse. Regardless, it paints the picture of a man willing to do whatever it takes to avoid prison time. But this prison escape attempt is only one part of a much bigger story. Durk is facing serious charges related to a murder-for-hire scheme, and the evidence against him is overwhelming. The rapper, once known for turning gritty street narratives into chart-topping hits, is now accused of orchestrating a plot to kill rapper Quando Rondo in Los Angeles. Prosecutors claim Durk put a bounty on Quando's life, promising money and music opportunities to anyone who would carry out the hit. The operation began when OTF members learned Quando Rondo was staying at a hotel in LA. Durk allegedly funded the operation, booking flights for his associates to travel from Chicago to California using OTF's accounts. Durk reportedly instructed his crew not to book flights under his name to avoid detection. Durk wasn't just a passive bystander, he was actively involved in planning the hit. Federal prosecutors claim that when Durk flew on a private jet, he was closely followed by his associates, who bought ski masks and rented hotel rooms using credit cards linked to Durk. The plan was to track Quando across the city and ambush him at a gas station. On August 19, 2022, Durk's crew allegedly opened fire at the station, spraying 18 rounds. While Quando and his sister escaped unscathed, his cousin, Saba Robinson, tragically lost his life. The FBI has been following Durk for months, piecing together the evidence of his involvement in the shooting. Wiretaps and surveillance footage revealed that Durk was giving orders and handling the logistics of the operation. Prosecutors argue that his actions went far beyond mere involvement. They say he was the mastermind, financing and coordinating the entire operation from behind the scenes. The FBI wasn't just tracking Durk's movements, they were also listening in on his conversations. Intercepted calls revealed Durk's direct involvement in orchestrating the hit. He reportedly told his associates not to book flights under any names that could be traced back to him. Additionally, the use of OTF's funds for flights, ski masks, and other expenses was a key piece of evidence linking Durk to the crime. The investigation has sparked intense media scrutiny, with fans and critics discussing the implications of Durk's alleged actions. His ties to the Black Disciples gang have been highlighted, with federal prosecutors suggesting that OTF is more than just a music collective. The group's history with violence and organized crime has made Durk a target for law enforcement, and the charges against him reflect the deep connections between his music career and the violent world he's associated with. Durk's connection to the Black Disciples isn't a new development. Growing up in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood, Durk was exposed to violence from a young age. The neighborhood, known for its gang activity, forced him to navigate a world where loyalty to the streets was essential for survival. Durk's early arrests for firearms offenses reflect the reality of his environment, where carrying a weapon wasn't optional, it was a matter of life and death. Despite his rise to fame, Durk's past continues to haunt him. His association with OTF and its connections to gang activity has made him a target for law enforcement. The FBI claims that OTF is an extension of the Black Disciples, using their music as a cover for criminal activity. Prosecutors have presented evidence showing how OTF has been involved in contract killings, violent turf wars, and the illegal arms trade. The federal government is now trying to build a RICO case against OTF, which would make the entire organization liable for the criminal actions of its members. If convicted, Durk could face serious prison time, including life behind bars. But his legal team is preparing to fight back, arguing that the evidence is circumstantial and that Durk wasn't directly involved in the shooting or the murder-for-hire plot. Despite his legal troubles, Durk's music career continues to thrive. His most recent album, Almost Healed earned critical acclaim and showcased his ability to blend street authenticity with introspective themes. But with the release of his next project Deep Thoughts delayed indefinitely, the rapper's career is now at a crossroads. The legal battles, combined with the fallout from his alleged escape attempt, have thrown a wrench into his plans for the future. For Durk, the stakes have never been higher. He's facing federal charges that could change the course of his life. His plea of not guilty sets the stage for a courtroom showdown, but the evidence against him is substantial. Whether he can mount a successful defense will depend on how well his legal team can dismantle the government's case and convince a jury that he wasn't involved in the conspiracy. The rapper's legal troubles also have wider implications for his crew, OTF. The group, once seen as a tight-knit collective focused on family values, is now under investigation for its ties to organized crime. Law enforcement is increasingly viewing OTF not just as a rap group, but as a criminal enterprise, with Durk at the center of it all. But even as the legal pressure mounts, Durk's influence on the streets remains strong. His ties to the Black Disciples and OTF's network of supporters could play a critical role in his defense. The question now is whether the rapper's street power can help him avoid the full weight of the charges against him, or if the feds will succeed in taking down one of hip-hop's most prominent figures. With the trial looming, Durk's future is uncertain. His past is catching up with him, and the pressure is building. The alleged prison escape, once seen as an act of desperation, now looks like part of a larger strategy to avoid the consequences of his actions. But as the FBI continues to build its case, it seems that Durk's escape might have been nothing more than a fleeting hope. In the end, this saga will be remembered as a cautionary tale, a story of a rapper who rose from the streets to global fame, only to find himself trapped by the very violence and crime that fueled his rise. Durk's fate will likely be decided in the courtroom, but the impact of his case on his career and the culture surrounding OTF will be felt for years to come.